Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Yiming, and I'm from Learning and Development Department. Welcome to Positive Monday. Today, we have Dennis Go to share with us on personalized leads, funnel, and CRM for retargeting. Without further ado, I'll pass the time to Dennis. Dennis, please.
Okay, good afternoon. Orange Tea and Thai fellow colleague. I'm Dennis Go here. It's a very cold afternoon. Hope that all of you already got your nice lunch and ready for me to share this target for today. In fact, we all know that the list is very important in our real estate work. All right. So first of all, in order to get to have closing, we need leads, all right? So that leads can come from many channels. So as long as we have a lot of leads to comes in, then we will able to selectively choose which one we want to serve, and then we will convert them, all these leads, into the listings, right? And then from the listings, we will, of course, we can, there are many kind of listings, right? Listing can be buyer listing, it can be tenant, it can be landlord, or also it can be also the seller listings. So depending what kind of listings that we have, and then we will start to do the marketing or start to do the search. Okay, and then from all these listings that we are holding, and then we are also serving, eventually we are going to convert them into a closing, right? So we understand that it's actually if we want to be consistently closing every week or every month, then what we need is right. What we need is this closing. Okay, I'll just hold on a minute. Yeah? Let me get my tools. Okay, I need to get some tools first. Okay. All right. So we know that in order to have more consistent closing all the time, what we need is, all right, to increase our closing here, we need to have more listings. Am I right? Okay. So then obviously the more listings that we have, the more opportunity for us to close to close and to get our commission. Then in order to have more listings, what we need is, right, to have more listing here, what we need is actually, we need a lot of leads, right? From the leads, okay, from these leads, we were able to find our way to get the genuine listing. We filter them, genuine listings, and then we start to work on it. Of course, along the way, I think most of us also understand that some of the listings that we are holding it, we may have to drop them because it can be very unrealistic, or it can be very unreasonable buyer or tenant kind of request. So, so along the way, we filter away, and then and there will be a certain limit of number of listings that we can work on, all right? And eventually we will start to do marketing and get it closed. So end of day, leads in fact is the most important stream of a so-called our leads to the closing, right? Now, leads actually where there are many channels of leads that we can have. Is what I have to show you here is it is not exhaustive. Yeah, there are many more. So these are some of the examples which I can show you, right? In order to generate more leads, you need to do some list generating campaign, right? The campaign, it can be like for your mailers, right? So what we do is we target certain blogs or certain projects or certain area, okay, and we send out the mailer, okay. Like listing portals also, listing can generate leads as well. Example, assuming that I'm going to put in my one of the listings that I'm going to market for sales or for rent, and eventually I can get and buyer and also tenant inquiry. Not forgetting at the same time, tenant and seller will also able to see my listings in the portal and eventually call me so that they wanted to list their property with me, right? Okay. Then for Facebook, it's the same thing. We used to, if I have a listings and I want to put it into the Facebook marketing, or even in a matter of fact, new launches or even post launches, right? Both they are all possible to list your this uh, uh, to list it in the Facebook for your marketing campaign, right? Same thing as Google Ads, YouTube, and also referral. Okay, what I want to touch on is like most of these, how are you going to generate leads for mailer? For mailer, in fact, we can actually, in our mailer, we can actually put in QR code or our phone number, right? The QR code is in fact leads us to one of our, maybe our website, or to one of our Google form, all right? And from there, the information will be channeled into our Google Drive, right? Then same thing as Facebook, we can actually use traffic, right, to channel all the inquiries into our Google form as well, right? Now, Google Ads the same thing. YouTube, right? Say, for instance, if you are actually putting up your videos in the YouTube, end of the video, you can actually put in a either a link, right, to or a QR code that can lead to your Google form. Okay. Then the last thing is referral and listing portal. These are mostly people will call you through the phone number, right, or your WhatsApp. And end of day, you are either you actually store it. Most of us will actually store it into our contact list. Okay, whereby so that you are conveniently can call them back to when you want to serve them, right? But however, there's a possibility that you may even forget who they are, their name, all right? So it's quite difficult to in order, right, to channel this or store this information properly into your database. So my suggestion here is that which I use is for listing portal and referral. Usually I will create a Google form for myself so that I can fill in the information into the Google form, and then it will store in my Google Drive as well. Okay. Okay, having to say that most of the channels for getting leads, we actually channel them all into either our contact list or our Google form, right? Which is, I'm going to show you here, right? They all go into a Google form. Now, assuming right now I'm going to launch 10 of my campaign. So I have 10 separate Google form with me, okay? What happened here is if I am going to retarget them for a new launch, right? Let's say I have a certain project which is coming up in the next 2 or 3 weeks or maybe 4 weeks. I will have to send all this information to them, provided I already have stored, go through the DNC for the number. Then I will send all the information to them to retarget them. Or maybe some of the inquiries that the inquiries that comes in, I can even channel them into some resale. Okay, if I have a very good buy property. Okay, so in order to do that, I will have to go back to all these Google form, right, to get the contact number, right, and to send them either WhatsApp, or I will call them, or by SMS. Yeah, either of the info, we call it communication platform. Okay, for that, what happened here is that if I have 10 Google Forms, and I may have not, I may have put them in a different location. So I may have a problem of locating where are all my forms is. So if I lose any one of the form, then I may not be able to retrieve the data from there. Okay. Okay, so what happened here is that because all this data, I spend a lot of money, right, on my marketing campaign, and then every list comes in actually costs money. Okay, so if I were to lose one or two of it, it will be quite a disaster, right? The form, and I will not be able to find a way to look for it. Where can I find all my forms? It will be a juggle for me. So therefore, in order to solve this problem, so all these Google form, eventually I will direct them, right, into Google Sheet. Okay, so it is, I don't have to do it manually, right? As long as I set it up once, right? Once, then I will be, they will automatically divert from the Google form all those data that that is collected, right? Which our client or prospect fill in those information, it will goes directly into the Google Sheet, right? So it is systematically done. I don't have to manually create it, right? Except, well, one thing, which is this. Those inquiry comes from portal, all right? So I will have to manually key it into this Google form, right? So for this one, I have to do it by myself. Okay, so I will show you later on how you can actually do all this from here. Okay, goes into the Google Sheet, and at the same time, how you can create a Google form for yourself to key in the information so that it will go into this Google Sheet. Okay, now what's the advantage here, right? Anyway, they all goes into Google Sheet, right? I can also key in all this data by myself, right? So the advantage here, in fact, is, first of all, I only need to manage one Google Sheet, all right? And then I do not care where my Google form are. Okay, it's not a concern to me. All I need is just to look at one Google Sheet, whereby all my data are consolidated, right? All funnels into one Google Sheet. And all I need is to refer to the Google Sheet when I want to do a retargeting, right? Example, which I said just now, I mentioned just now, any new launches. So I will pick up all the numbers from there and I will send it out to them. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you how you can from the Google form generate into a Google Sheet for all your Google form, right? So that means everything will consolidate, all the data is consolidate into the Google Sheet. Okay, right. Let me switch my screen to another. Just give me a minute. I switch the screen. Okay, I think so. Okay, now this is how I do. Okay, let me get this out. my way. All right. Now, all of us, we are given from, in OT, we are all given a Google Drive. All right. The Google Drive, in fact, is about 30 gig, so it's quite big. Okay. And we were given this G Suite. And this G Suite comes with this Google Drive. And what I do is that usually in the Google Drive, I will open a new folder. All right. A new so that I can segregate it from all my all my folders in the Google Drive, so that I wouldn't have to search for it all the time, all over the place, right? So what I do is I open a new folder here, which I call leads. But for demo today, I put it as a Positive Monday leads. Okay, Positive Monday leads folder. So I created this folder, right? And now what I do is that everything that I'm going to create is going to create inside this leads folder. Okay, I open it up now. Now I'm in my Positive Monday leads folder already. And then over here, I create a new Google form, right? So now this Google form, it can be, let's say, as example, I'm going to launch a campaign, all right, for my, let's say it's for a few projects. I'm going to do a mailer, okay? I print out mailer, and before I print out the mailer, I will use this Google form and generate it into a QR code, put it into my mailer, so that anybody who are interested to contact me, they can either scan the QR code and come into my Google form, fill in the information so that I can contact them, or they will come, or they also can call me directly or through WhatsApp, okay, from the QR code. So assuming this is for mailer, okay, okay, let me see, okay, if Monday mailer. Monday, okay, form. All right. Okay. The information, all this, I will not, I assume that you already know what to do. So basically, I will just do a very simple setup here, name, and then contact number, right? And then probably certain what property is this, right? Something like that. Okay, all the details wise, you can actually figure out by your own how you want to formulate this Google form. Okay. Now, once this form is done, you will go to response here. Okay. So now, most of the time, the response will comes in when you see the right. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So most of the time, when you see that there is this response here, okay. So if you see there's this number 1, 2, 3, 4, that means there are people actually respond to your submitted the Google form. But you can only see the data from here. Okay. And what I will use to do is that I will link it into this Google Sheet here. Okay. So what I do is that I will click this Google Sheet. Oh, okay. Okay, I'll click the Google Sheet. So what is that? I'm going to channel all the information, whoever they submit into this Google form, it will direct or funnel it into a spreadsheet or Google Sheet. So okay, so that's for the I do not, assuming that right now I'm going to start a new campaign, so I don't have any spreadsheet with me, so I'll create a new spreadsheet here. All right. And I will call this spreadsheet Positive Monday leads data. Okay. Right. Then I'll do a create. So now it's done. Okay. So you can see that from here. Now you can see that. Oh, okay. This is blocking the view. I need to move it away first. All right. Now, okay, you can see from here, right? Over here. Okay. There is a tab below. This tab. Okay. Now, every form that you, every Google form that you channel into a Google Sheet, it comes into a new tab over here. So what I do is, I'm going to rename this tab. Right. So this is my mailer campaign, right? So I will put in like, okay, Positive Monday mailer, right? Okay, done. Right. So this is how I channel it into this Google Sheet already. So okay, I do is I can just close it away. Okay, close this form away. Okay, then now. So now you remember earlier on we created this Positive Mondays leads folder here, right? And in fact, before that it was empty. Now you can see that there's these two. This is the Google Sheet and this is the Google Form. Okay, now I'm going to create another new campaign, which is maybe for my Facebook, right? So what I do is that I will use Facebook to Facebook traffic, right, to channel the traffic into my Google Form. Okay, and I create another new Google Form here, right? Right. Okay. So what I will do is I will this Google Form will be Facebook campaign, right? So now I create another one which is for my Facebook, and then same thing here. The details here you will just figure out by yourself. You will get all the names, maybe the contact number, right, and so on and so forth, right? Whatever you are the information that you require, you create inside this Google Form, right? Then what? So once this is all your details are done in this Google Form, you will go to response again over here, right? Okay, here, respond. Okay, right, go to this response and you click onto the response. Now, same thing, you will see 0 response here. Okay, and then right, 0 response here because this is a new form that no one has actually filled it up. Assuming right now somebody fill it in, then over here you have the numbers and the data will appear on this screen here. All right, and this screen will it is very difficult for you to consolidate. So what you do is that you will go into here. Okay. All right, you go to here again. Okay, Google Sheet. Now the whole idea is now I'm going to channel this Google Form. Okay, make sure that it will go into the same Google Sheet that I created just now. Right now, what I do is that I click onto the Google Sheet here. Now, Remember, just now I created this Positive Monday Leads Google Sheet. Now, I am not going to create a new one here because I'm going to channel this, divert this form, the data into the previous data sheet that I created. So instead of creating a new spreadsheet, I choose selected existing spreadsheet, right? Which is this one, right? Okay, this one. Okay, select existing spreadsheet. Okay, now what is going to do here is that I am going to divert or link this form to this spreadsheet which I created just now, right? Which is this, right? Because it's in my Google Drive, so it will prompt, right? This is the data, the Google Sheet that created just now. So I select this, right? And I click select. Now you see the wonder thing here. I want you to take note. Right, let it load. Okay, now it's loaded already. Notice over here, this is the first campaign, the mailer campaign, right? Which I created just now. Now, once I put in a new form and divert the form into this existing Google sheet, you can see that it created automatically another tab here, all right? This tab here. So right now what I need to do is I will rename it, right? So that I can identify this particular data comes from where. Okay. Okay, I renamed this as just now what I did was Positive Monday FB campaign, right? Done. So whatever data comes from the Facebook, it will divert into this tab, all right? And then what if, let's say I want to check from my mailer, I just tap in this here, right? It will become the mail data from the mailer. Okay, right. So far so good. Hope that you understand this part, how I funnel them all together into the same spreadsheet. Okay, the next thing here is I talked about just now how, let's say if anyone that's respond to you through, let's say from referral, right? You will get a contact number, or from the mailer, instead of filling up the Google form, they contact you through WhatsApp directly or through phone call. Then you will receive this number from the inquiry, and then in order not to lose this, you will usually key it into your contact list, right? But however, it is there will be a lot of difficulties if you want to retarget them. So therefore, it is best to consolidate all those inquiries that comes into the same Google Sheet. Okay, how are you going to do it? I'm going to show you here. In fact, it is actually the same way of doing a Google form, right? By going to the my Google Drive. Okay, right now, okay, you can see that the Facebook campaign, Google form is here. All right. Now I'm going to create the third one, which is to consolidate all those leads that comes to you. Okay. So same thing, I create a new Google form. Okay. Okay. So what I do is I rename this as okay, call direct Monday call and referral. Right. So what I do is that over here, same thing, I create a name that I need to enter, and then contact number, okay. And then maybe I leave this as a paragraph here so that I can key in whatever I need. Let's say this is a referral from Mr. Tan, or this is a call for a certain from which project, from which property, or from which HDB, right? So I will just fill in all the information here. Whether are they buyer or seller or whatever kind of status, I can also fill it in here. So once done, okay, same thing over here from the response. Okay, we are going to do the same thing. Divert this particular Google form, whatever fill in the data goes into the spreadsheet, which is this spreadsheet, all right? The new spreadsheet. No, the existing spreadsheet that we have created just now. Okay, which is here, all right? This spreadsheet. So I'm going to create and divert it into here. All right, so I need to wait for it to load up. Okay, so same thing, you notice that now this 2 tab is the one that I created just now, right? For Facebook marketing, for campaign, this is for the mailer campaign. And then this is, I will rename this as rename this to as call. Okay, call and referral. Okay, so now this is done. That means I have already diverted, okay, all this information into the same spreadsheet. Then the next thing I need to do is over here, right, over here, I need to just to create a link, because coming back to here to key in the information, the Google form, I need to have a link directly that I can click and comes into here. Okay, what I do is that I go to preview. In a way, create a shortcut so that I can come into this form immediately when I need. Okay, so what I do is that create this, and then from the preview, I guess there's this link here. All right, this link, I can copy this link, or in fact, right, or in fact, otherwise I can also do the other way around, which is the setting, right? Oh no, okay. Okay, just sorry, okay, this part a little bit confused. Okay. Okay, this send here. Send. Yeah, okay. A bit slower from the response. Okay. Here, now you can see this link. Send form, this link. Okay. Same thing. You can see that the link and this link is actually the same. Right? Either way, you can actually pick up the link. Either way, all right. Or then, in order to maybe you can also use this shortened URL to help you, so the link becomes shorter. And then I copy this link here. Okay. Once I copy already, I can paste it into my mobile phone. You can then example something like this. Yeah. Okay, I can paste it. Okay, maybe okay, you can paste it in your mobile phone, into your desktop. As long as you click the link, it will come into this form, all right? It will come to this form. Okay, and then you can just key in and submit. So this form, for this form, do not send, you don't need to send to your client, okay? It is for your own use, all right? All you need is, let's say if I have a referral like Kim, and then name is like Roger, okay? And then the contact number, because already in my handphone or in my WhatsApp, I can just fill it in here, okay? And then this one is a buyer, okay, for a two-bedder, okay, two-bedder condo, something like that in East. Okay, so I submit. Okay, done. Okay, so I submit to myself, and I can see it from here. Okay, so this is my which I key in on by myself, and then there's also a timestamp here when I keyed it in. All right, so I got this name, I got the contact number, I got this. So what happened here is that when I have some property which I want to roll it up, and then recommend it to my existing client, okay, I can come here to pick up, right? To pick up the contact number, or I can even come here to pick up the contact number, or even from here, okay, I'll copy this contact number and then I'll paste it into whichever media that I want to send. Okay, so far this is how I channel funnels, all the different data or the leads comes from different channels into this my spreadsheet. If not, okay, so I'm going to wrap up for today. Okay, this is how I will do for right, for my data. I consolidate all the different channels of leads generating campaign all into one Google Sheet. And then from this Google Sheet, all I need is just to maintain one Google Sheet, right? And then when I want to retarget them, I will just go to the data, take out all the numbers, and then I send it to them. Okay.
Okay, thank you, Dennis, for your sharing. Yeah, I hope you guys have learned something from him. Yeah, okay, we will end the session now. If let's say you all want to watch this session again, you can go to Agent app, slides and videos. We will upload probably 1 week later. Okay, thanks for attending and have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.